Happy Christmas! And I'm just reading this book, Tabasco The Saucy Raccoon, and I'm going to read to you from chapter 7, called There's a Raccoon Under My Christmas Tree, and There Was. I was living in the Okanagan with Tabasco, and this was Christmas Eve, and I lost him. This is what happened. There were lots of Tabasco's favorite goodies around at Christmas time. He did his rounds around the neighborhood, collecting nuts, chocolates, eggs, and mandarin oranges. He'd go off during the day on his social calls, and then at dark, I'd stand on the veranda and call him home. He made no answering call, but suddenly, as if from nowhere, he'd appear at my feet, silent and ghost-like. It was eerie. On this particular Christmas Eve I want to talk about, I stopped work at the typewriter, no computers then, for a 2-day holiday. And this evening, unusually, Tabasco didn't come to my call. I pulled on my parka and mucklucks and went to look for him. I knew he had to be with people. Trouble was, Christmas Eve was not a good night of the year for a people-loving raccoon to be wandering from party to party. Gary, Carol, and Todd, our neighbors, were away, and the people looking after their house for the holiday hadn't seen Tabasco. There was a lot of light and noise and laughter from a house on the creek way down at the end of the orchard, but as I hadn't been to it before, or even seen it in summer through the trees, I searched instead in the opposite direction on this particular night. Tabasco usually wandered down the trail to the road. Not tonight. Yes, Tabasco was here earlier, said the couple in the first house. We were taking pictures of him. The raccoon had left the evidence. Smudge marks on the patio door, plastic torn off the windows, stuffing ripped from the upended kitchen chairs. The elderly man in the house next door had chickens, and knowing Tabasco's love for eggs, I didn't really want to check there. But he was very welcoming. No, he didn't come here tonight, but I'm glad you did. I wanted to meet you. I do hope Tabasco doesn't get hurt. There's a lot of crazy drivers out tonight, he said. Oh, do you want to take some eggs home for Tabasco? They can be his Christmas present from me. Bertha, who lived in the third house, was away, but her dogs, 2 big Dalmatians, barked madly as I passed. Tabasco had learned to fear dogs in the Okanagan, and with Beauregard, that's the one that we had, not at his side to protect him, I was sure he'd sidestepped their place. The fourth house was dark and empty, no fun there, so I continued on as I knew Tabasco would. The people who were looking after the Palmberg house were having a very lively party, but the family Tabasco knew were away. In fact, most of the regular people on his circuit were either gone or had other people staying in their houses for Christmas. So by the time I had checked a few more houses along Tabasco's usual route and then reached the highway, I was beginning to be concerned, and not only for Tabasco. Jack was waiting at home for his Christmas dinner, and I had planned to cook it. I'd been tramping through the snow in the dark now for almost 2 hours. I expected it, Jack said resignedly when I phoned him. I stayed in my old clothes just in case you wanted me to join you in the search. You haven't found him, right? Wondering whether or not I should phone the local radio and police station, I trudged back to Jack's place. Moonlight was now shining over the creek and onto our veranda. I looked down at the glistening snow and saw stuffing. Not the stuffing to be put in the Christmas turkey, but the kind of stuffing raccoons shred from kitchen chairs. Well, I was on the right trail, a stuffing trail, and it led through the trees along the creek to the noisy house at the end of the orchard. I stumbled across a garden of snow-crusted winter cabbages and threaded through sheds, garages, and other outbuildings to a cozy cedar house with wide patio doors. This was where the action was on Christmas Eve in Trout Creek, and judging by the laughter, the shouting, the applause, and the delighted screams, Tabasco had found it. Toon, toon, ta-toon, I heard some toddler cry as I rang the bell. So you own the raccoon, said the nice lady who answered the door. Come in, I'm Katie Masden. "We're having a ball with this raccoon." I knew Katie by reputation. She was a local naturalist and a well-known animal lover. Sensibly, she had not invited Tabasco into the house, and he was doing his entertaining on a table in the glassed-in porch. His audience was entranced. They blew whistles, waved their party hats, and clapped while Raccoon danced and pranced and whirled and twirled on the other side of the glass. Tabasco was the life of the party, and he loved it. No wonder he hadn't wanted to come home when I called.